Hi guys, good morning. Just going to review a little bit of what we learned last class and the class before that. So the class before that we talked about adding and subtracting polynomials. We have to combine their like terms. Do not change their common variables and exponents. So right here I have the common variables x squared y. I'm going to subtract just the coefficients because these are like terms. So 9 minus 10 gives me -1. Those exponents and variables are going to stay the same. Subtract 6w from 8w. That's really 8w minus 6w. Once again, keep that variable the same. Just subtract those coefficients. So 8 minus 6 is 2w. Reviewing those exponent rules we started last class, your product rule, if we're multiplying bases, then we're going to add the exponents. So over here, if I have h to the power of 2 times h to the power of 6, I'm going to add those two exponents, add the 2 and 6 to get h to the power of 8. Down here, if I'm multiplying bases, I have to multiply these coefficients. -2 times 7 is -14. Now, these bases are going to stay, those variables a and b, but I have to determine what those exponents are going to be. If I'm multiplying bases, I'm going to use this product rule. I'm going to add the exponents. So 2 and 3 gives me 5 on my a, and both of these b's have an exponent of 1. So I'm going to add those two exponents to get 2. Then we have our power to a power rule. So if I have x to the power of a, then to the power of b, I'm going to multiply those two powers. So x to the power of a times b. So right here I have 2 to the power of 3. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 3 to get 6. Down here I got 2 steps to do. I got to work on this first. So I'm raising that -2 to the power of 2. Everything in that parentheses has to go to that power of 2. Then I'm doing this m to the power of 5 to the power of 2. So that's that power to a power. So I'm going to do 5 times 2 here to get m to the power of 10. And then that's being multiplied by m to the power of 3. Remember that -2 squared is going to give us a +4 because -2 times -2 is a +4. So I have 4m to the power of 10 times m to the power of 3. So when I'm multiplying bases, I use that product rule and add the exponents. So 10 and 3 gives me 13. The quotient rule, I'm dividing the bases. So I'm going to subtract the exponents. So this would be x to the power of a minus b. When I'm doing that over here and I have coefficients like in number 1, I need to simplify that. So I want to find a greatest common factor here. I know that 3 goes into both of these numbers. So if I divide 27 by 3, I get 9. 42 by 3, I get 14. And then I'm going to subtract these exponents because they are dividing. So I'm going to do 5 minus 1 to get x to the power of 4. Here, I got that power to a power, so I got to do that first. That's 2 times 2. That gives me y to the power of 4. And then, guys, I have y to the power of 4 divided by y to the power of 4. Anytime we are dividing, okay, we know if we divide something by itself, the answer is 1. If I do 5 divided by 5, that's 1. X divided by x, that's 1. I can also look at this another way. I can look at it in that quotient rule sense where I can subtract 4 minus 4. That gives me y to the power of 0. And then based on that 0 exponent rule we talked about in class, anything to the power of 0 is 1. Okay, so there's 2 ways to get 1 in this situation. Here we have that negative exponent rule. Anything raised to a negative exponent, we need to move that to the denominator. We got to take that reciprocal, and then we can make that exponent positive. So here, that coefficient, -5, can stay in the numerator, but that x to the power of 2 has to move to the denominator to become positive. Here we can first simplify this fraction. So 4 over 8 can simplify to 1/2. And then I'm going to divide these k's. So I'm going to subtract their exponents because of that quotient rule. So I'm going to do 2 minus 5 to get me x to the power of -3. And then that needs to move to the denominator if we want it to be positive. So that's going to change to 1 over 2x to the power of 3. Lastly, we have that 0 exponent rule, which I just mentioned. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. Remember that parentheses are powerful here. So I don't have parentheses making this 7 to the power of 0, just the x. So x to the power of 0 is 1, but I still have that 7 there. So my answer would be 7 here, because 7 times 1 is 7. Here I got that power to a power rule. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 2 to get w to the power of 8. And then I have w to the power of 8 divided by w to the power of 8. So I could look at this two ways. Anything divided by itself is 1. Also, I could look at that quotient rule. Subtract 8 minus 8 gives me 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. All right, guys, I hope this gives you a nice little recap of last class's notes. If you need any help, if you're struggling with any of this, please reach out. You got to get that worksheet done for classwork today. Make sure you email me if you're needing some help. There is no ACT Lab today due to a meeting, but you could definitely email me and we can get together after break and chat about this stuff, because we will have to refresh after break about this anyway, so I wouldn't stress too much. All right, have a great day, guys.